there. It is Friday, August 2nd, and it is time for another book review, which I'm not going to do, at least not in the traditional way, because I haven't finished any books since last Friday and this Friday that I feel like reviewing. So I went to the library and I got another blind date. And I haven't opened it yet, so I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna show it to you, I'm gonna read a few chapters, I'm gonna tell you what I think, I'm gonna read a few more, I'm gonna tell you what I think, blah, 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 and that's what we're gonna do today. So let's see what's in here. A Troubled Peace by L.M. Elliott. This looks cool. It's a sequel, which is kind of annoying, to be totally honest with you. I saw the wrapping, and the wrapping had stuff written on it like World War II problems, smuggle, and life or death. And I was kind of hoping it would be something like Codename Verity, which I think might be set in World War II, although I could be wrong about that actually. But it's not. It's A Troubled Peace, which is a sequel to a book I haven't read, so I don't know how it's gonna go. Here's what it says on the back. World War II may be ending, but the conflict still rages for 19-year-old bomber pilot Henry Forrester. After returning home to Virginia, he's still reliving his struggles and can't stop worrying about the safety of those who helped him escape. Most of all, one French boy, Pierre, who may have lost everything because of Henry. When he returns to France to find Pierre, Henry is staggered by the consequences of war. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone's starving. There's bombing. I'll give it a try. Okay, I've made it to page 4, and Houston, we have a problem. Wrong metaphor alert! This book starts with a nightmare sequence in which the main character almost dies. Except that it's a nightmare, so of course they don't die. Which, duh. The thing about starting with a nightmare sequence in which your main character almost dies is, unless the back of the book says something like, after his death in blah blah blah, so-and-so's spirit blah blah blah, you know they're not going to die. A book has thickness, and when you're only this far through the thickness, or even this far through the thickness, it's pretty obvious your main character is not about to bite it. Kinda sucks the tension out of the whole thing. The way the Kidlet is sucking the seriousness out of this video right now. Okay, I committed myself to this date, so I'm gonna read past page 4 and see what happens. Okay, I've finished the first 2 chapters and I'm liking it a lot better now that the whole nightmare, almost dying sequence at the beginning is finished. I really am enjoying the view that we're getting of what war is really like from a bomber's perspective, from a military aircraft pilot's perspective, and his memories and his worries and his concerns and his experience of post-traumatic stress disorder. All of those things are pulling me into the story. So far, we're on pretty solid ground with this one. Okay, it's the end of chapter 4, and Henry's mother, Lily, the great source of expository dialogue in this book, is getting on my nerves. But I still really like Henry, and I really want to know what's going to happen to him. And fortunately for me, and maybe also for Henry, he's headed to France at the beginning of the next chapter. Okay, so I made it to the end of chapter 6, and then I just kept going. The images of war-torn France, the passages about the villages that had just been decimated, the passages about his continuing experiences of flashbacks, the search for Pierre. This book really pulled me in, finally. There was still a little bit of expository dialogue stuff at the beginning, which pulled me out of the story, and I'll be honest, giving background in any other way is tough, but totally worth doing because it makes such a big difference. But apart from that, I really enjoyed reading this book. Anyone who has a veteran in their life, and it's wonderful. I'm very glad that I ended up with this book, although I do still plan to pick up Codename Verity sometime. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.